Hello! Welcome back to Trailblazing Women Podcast. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited that we're back. I am Joyce Jackson, and we have Tegan here, and we are coming at you live today to share some exciting things that have happened in the last couple of weeks. We know that we haven't been live in a while and shared any podcasts lately, but it's been a crazy busy month. But we're so excited to be back. Oh, I'm like so pumped about it. I seriously cannot wait.
Can we just wait a minute? Like Joyce Jackson?
Yes.
Joyce Jackson. That's what happened this past month. That's why we've been so MIA.
I know, like it's so crazy. It's been it's been a whirlwind of a month, but it's been such a great month. Like so much good has come out of this month. And Tegan and I have actually been around each other quite a bit this past month, which has been so wonderful because, as most of you guys know, we do live in different cities, but we do try to see each other quite frequently. And this month we've been very lucky and privileged to have that. So
I think we visited, we saw each other every weekend in the month of September.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
really,
totally.
There was more days that we were together than not together this month.
I know. Yeah, it's been absolutely nuts, and we're just super happy to be back and tuning in with you guys. We're so sorry that it's been a little bit MIA over the last little bit, but now you guys can understand why. Simply because we have just been busy. It's been busy. I got married, and Tegan was at my wedding, which was great, but it was not just like your typical wedding where it was like all in one day. I had my wedding spread apart, and I think that's what also created a lot of chaos and busyness and all that stuff, because I got ready for the ceremony. We went out to the mountains to celebrate, which was the most spectacular day ever. I cannot say enough. Like, honestly, like I have to just, okay, I'm going to actually talk about this because I did not think this was something real that could actually happen. So, you know how like when you're watching a movie, like a romantic movie, and and then all of a sudden the two are kissing and it's like the whole thing around them just pauses and everything kind of just goes, like the world stops. That's literally what I experienced. I didn't know I could experience something like that. And I have to say, it was very surreal. It was truly amazing. It was pretty epic, actually. And I will never forget that moment. It was so cool. And it was the most perfect day right along the water in the mountains. I couldn't have asked for better. Was amazing. And then we had my reception a week later in our backyard, which was also super awesome. Turned out to be such an amazing day. The weather was perfect. Like literally, Tegan, like think about this for a minute. Because literally the weather prior to the ceremony in Canmore was not like the greatest. Then the day of, it was like perfect. And then same with reception. We had shitty weather that week. And then all of a sudden it was like our reception came up and we had the most beautiful, spectacular day.
And then the following day was shit. Like God was on our side for these weather days. Like it was the most beautiful thing. And Joyce, I gotta put a plug. Joyce literally did everything. So like we had these, like if you go on her Facebook, you can see the place settings, like the table for the place settings. She painted, I don't know what those big plates are called, but she painted every single one of them.
Yeah.
And she painted she made those, and she made the invitations, and she made the menus and the little cupcake cards and the cupcake stand. And like, I swear, like the JJ duo just like brought this home so hard. It was the best thing ever. Like we got so many comments, and like I did nothing. Like I just she told me what to do and I did it. But like so many comments. Joyce messages me after. She's like, "So do you want to do like a wedding business?" And I'm like, we have a lot on our plate.
That might be something for like in the future. It's definitely like in the back of my mind. I'm not gonna lie, because I was told by so many people, like, "Oh my God, you could do this as a wedding. You could be a wedding planner." And I thought it was funny because I literally Anyway, that's a whole other topic. We don't need to go there. But anyways, it was absolutely spectacular. Everything was amazing. We couldn't have asked for a better day. And it's funny because I even talked about it with Jordan again yesterday, and he said the same thing. He's like, the 2 days could not have been more perfect. And hey, Tammy, thanks for watching. Oh my gosh, the day could not have been more perfect. So it was amazing. But then leading up to that, we ended up 3 days later after my reception going to Vegas. So that's what I mean. It was literally a jam-packed event. Hey, Tiffany. Oh my gosh, love that you guys are watching. This is awesome. Yeah, so basically we headed out to Vegas, and that's what we want to talk about here, because this is like our business and what we're doing is all about community. And, I've shared this a couple times on my Facebook. I've actually gone live and talked about this a few times, especially since being in Vegas. But you guys, I really want to talk and hone in about the fact that how important community is, and surrounding yourself with like-minded women
Yep.
who like support you, who are on the same path as you, who are literally like lifting you up. Like, you have no idea how satisfying it is to be surrounded by other women like that, and the energy that comes off of it. And that's basically like what happened in Vegas. It was mind blowing. And I've been in this industry, network marketing, for 15 years, you guys, and I've never in my life experienced what we got to experience in Vegas for. And I've been to many conferences. Okay. I've been to many conferences. I've been to, incentive trips. I've done all that stuff. And it just was so different with this company, you guys. And I know that when that experience that I had in Vegas made me like 110% feel that I made the right decision coming here, because I found my family. Like, I legit felt like I was surrounded by family when I was there, and the support and the way everybody was, like, it was just unreal. It was absolutely unreal. And this is what I mean when it comes to network marketing. It is not just about like the products or the business or any of that kind of stuff. It is legit about the community, you guys, and surrounding yourself with women that like make you feel good about yourself and empowering you. And that's what's going to allow you to like succeed and excel in this business, like 100%. Because if you're surrounded by positivity, positive things come to your life. Like, that's just natural, right?
Well, and what I love too is it didn't matter. I've been like, we've all seen these companies or these things where you go to these events and there's the top of the top and there's the bottom of the bottom, and you can see very visually who is who in the zoo. And that was not a thing
Completely,
here.
right?
And it was like, I walked up and I talked to my Black Diamond leader, and she literally screamed and gave me the biggest hug ever, because she knows who I am. You guys, that is so cool, because that doesn't always happen. Like, the relationships that we have with people, it doesn't matter what rank you are. It doesn't matter if you joined the company yesterday, if you joined the company, 5 years ago. The relationships that you're building with people is just so, so incredible. And even, we had a pool party. Everybody came to the pool because we were there kind of a day early, I think, right, Joyce?
Yeah.
And everybody was out talking, like top leaders. I don't want to say bottom of the barrel because that sounds really bad, but like brand new newbies. And there were like the little cabanas were rented. Anybody could just go in and spend some time in there if they needed the shade and that kind of thing. They didn't like scan your badge when you walked into the cabana. Like, it didn't matter who you were. You just walked
Well,
in.
and you know what else I noticed? Now, I realized that what we went to is a little bit different than, like, because it wasn't actually a conference, it was a leadership event.
Right.
But the thing I noticed too is that nobody's name tags were labeled with like their title. Now, that
Yeah.
obviously will probably be different come actual conference, because you'll have more like, there'll be more like recognition and stuff like that. But regardless of that, just like Tegan said, it was like we walked into the pool side and it was like everybody was together. It wasn't like these little groups of like different places. Like, same thing. Like, I got to speak to our Black Diamond leader as well. I got to hug her. I got to have a conversation with her. I got to hang out with her by the pool. Seriously, it was amazing. And I've, in all my time of being in network marketing, I have never seen that. And I think the difference too lies in the fact that our comp plan and the way we do our business is so different and so unique compared to most MLMs, because most MLMs, let's be honest, it's a tree form
Yeah.
and you recruit, and then you have to try and help that person rank up so that they can help you rank up. And then there's like, and then there's another tree. And then once that person gets to a certain rank, oh, guess what? They just fall off your tree. They're no longer contributing to your business or your volume. Like, we all know that's how it works. And it's like, so then and that, like, to me, that's not attractive, because guess what happens is now all of a sudden you do hit those high ranks, and now your upline wants basically is not going to help you anymore, because they're like, oh, okay, well, you're not contributing to my business anymore, so I'm not going to help you, I'm not going to talk to you. And it's like, well, wait a minute, like, that's not community to me, that's not running a business. We Regardless of where I am, I think it's important that we encourage people to go as high as possible. Why would we deter people from building their businesses and getting up the ranks, right? And that's why I love our business, because it's not about ranking up, it's
Yeah.
strictly volume. That's it. Just volume. But the other cool thing is that our volume goes to infinity. So, our diamond leader, I mean, she's probably 10 above me, but she still is willing to give me time and energy and talk to me and speak to me, because I'm still contributing to her business no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even think it's necessarily even about that. It's the fact that, like, they want to help everybody succeed. They want to see you get to the top of the comp plan. They want to help you achieve your successes. And I think that's so, like, it's just so amazing. And I love our system, because it's literally like, it's so simplified. We have such a simplified comp plan, and it's amazing. But like, I think one thing that I find that I lacked very much from my previous companies is just that community feel.
Yeah.
And it was truly so different when we walked into Vegas and experienced, like, just how everybody came together, like, everybody. It was so
Well,
incredible.
and I think too, like, you're used to what you're used to, right? So like, I've never experienced a community like this before. So in prior communities that I've been a part of, I'm like, oh, these are amazing. This, that. It's until like, you only know so good until you get to the next level. And
Yeah.
we've hit that next level. We've seen what is out there and what is possible. And we know, like, this is something that, like, I don't even really know what I'm saying, but it is like, it's something that it didn't matter who you were having conversations with people. It didn't matter like who you were approaching, or like who you were in the elevator with, or we shared an Airbnb with like 14 other ladies that we literally had never met, and now we like are best of friends with these people. Like, that
It
didn't
was
happen.
incredible.
Like, that is just, these people were like so sweet, down to earth. We were sharing Airbnbs, or like the Airbnb, we were splitting Ubers, we were doing shopping, we were going for lunches, we were doing all these things together. And we're already planning to go back in May when our next convention is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I never like booked my next conference literally immediately after, but I knew that I
No.
needed to be there.
Well, I knew, like, as soon as they announced it, it was like, oh my goodness, like, I'm not even like gonna second guess it. I want
Right?
to be
Yeah.
there, because, like, just being around all these women and getting to know these, and keep in mind, you guys, these women that are within our team are all over North America. There's people in the US, there's people in Eastern Canada, there's people in Western Canada, there's people everywhere. And like, we all came together. And honestly, like, it's so funny, because I've had a number of conversations with some of the women that we met in our Airbnb and stuff like that since we've left Vegas. And I legit have been like, oh my gosh, I wish you guys lived closer. Oh my gosh, I miss you already.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait until our next conference so I can see you. And I legit even told some of these ladies too. Like, I said, hey, my doors are open up in Canada. If you ever want to come to Canada and want to visit, come stay with me. I'm happy to have you come there, because that is how I felt. Like, we got so close over a period of 3 days. It blew my mind at how close we were able to, like, get with everybody. And it was truly amazing. And I'm so forever grateful, and I know that I'm in the best place, and I'm so excited to embark and have more people join this community and see what it's like to be surrounded by women like that. And I mean, and men, because we actually have men in the community too. And I think that it's
I
awesome
love
to
it.
see that. Yeah, I
I
love that
love
too.
that. You know, we had a power couple take the stage. Like, there are so many, especially on the higher level leaders. There are so many that do it with their spouse. And we had a power couple take the stage, and like, I had never really heard of them before, because they were kind of like they were like, I hadn't heard of them before just because I hadn't watched their trainings, but they were so awesome. And like the fact that the husbands are involved, like I came from a company who was very, female driven. And so, yes, the husband would come when they're promoted to the top of the company and they came for the celebration, but then they leave right after. They weren't part of it. They didn't want to be part of it. They didn't want to be in the trainings. Like they were like, hey, you go do your thing. Like I'll meet you after, right? No, 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 no. These men, these like husbands and men, there were men that like join even without their wives, are involved in it. Like that is just so cool to see though, that it's not, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter where you're from. We're just like bringing this entire community together and it's just so amazing.
Well, and talking about that power couple, because I know who you're talking about, and it was so cute because literally, like, they both had mics on,
Oh my god, this was so
and
funny.
and the husband, his mic wasn't working. I mean, they were having mic issues all weekend. Let's not talk about that because that was pretty intense. But his mic stopped working, and so then he was like, "Well," and nobody could hear him. So what did he do? He just like was like literally all up and close in his wife and speaking through her
Like,
mic.
the
It
mic
was
was
the
right here.
cutest
He's like
freaking
leaning
thing.
over and talking. It
It
was so
was so cute. Oh my gosh. I just loved watching those two. And they're just like a heart of gold, those two, and just are so bubbly and so warm. And I can't say enough good things. Like, and it truly is amazing. And
yeah.
like going back even to like the pool thing, and when we first arrived and got to the hotel and we all jumped and headed to the pool, there was a bunch of diamond leaders who literally like came right up to us as we approached, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, ladies, we've saved you guys some seats. We've rented cabanas. We have water here for you guys." Like I was blown away because I was like, "What?" And then just like I didn't think that was possible because, like I said, with my last company, anytime we had sort of conferences or anything like that, if there was cabanas rented by like our top directors in the company, do you think they would just let anybody in there? No, not at all. You had to be a certain rank to go sit there. And it's like, man, I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't like that whole judgment mentality and like, oh, you're not good enough. We didn't get that feeling at all. There was no moments at any point in that entire weekend where it was like, you're not good enough. If anything, actually, this was something that I also found so amazing is that we have, well, essentially, I'm talking about technically our first rank, although we just introduced a new rank, which is below our previous first rank. So technically level 2. So once you hit level 2 with our company, which used to be first level rank, that is like one of the most valuable positions in the company. And they talk about how valuable that position is because it's essentially the foundation of the start of your business. And with my previous company, when you hit the first rank, like people didn't care. They were kind of like, oh, yeah, well, whatever, like no big deal. Like you just hit the first rank, right? But no, they legit celebrate you when you hit the first
Yeah.
rank, so much so that they actually increased our bonus structure specifically for that first rank so that the people who hit that first rank get a higher bonus than when you keep going up the ranks. Like this additional 2 ranks, and it's like wow, because they actually encourage the fact that that is such an important rank to this business. And I think that's so cool. And like the fact that they celebrate all the wins, every single win is celebrated.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so cool to see, and it was very eye-opening. And like, okay, here's another thing. I am 22. This is not something that's hidden. And I am usually 99% of the time the youngest person that's in these things, right? Or like at these conferences specifically. Maybe there are people that sell the product, but they're not at these conferences. I was never once looked down on or anything like that. I actually met someone who was my age, which was so fun.
And younger, actually.
Actually, yeah, she was 2 years younger.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But it was never, ever, ever a matter of like, oh, well, you're still a kid. Nobody once said that to me. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're so young. Oh, you're still a kid. Oh, no.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
No, not at all. I think
That
it's
was
so
cool because
amazing.
I've had that before, and people think that that's a compliment. It's not a compliment.
No, no, of course not, right? Because it's like almost like they treat you like as if like they doubt you or whatever. Who knows, right? Right. And that was totally not the case. But I mean, let's be honest, like Tegan, you don't act your age. So I think that's part of it too, is that a lot of people will be surprised when they hear your age. And I mean, that was the same case with Becca when we met Becca. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't actually realize
I
she was
didn't
as
get.
young as she was either, because
No,
she's like, I mean, this woman, I'm gonna actually talk about her, and I hope she watches and listens in on this because,
we should
like,
like tag her in.
yeah, I know, right? Like, honestly, so she literally, she was in our Airbnb, and she was on the same side of the Airbnb as us, so their bedroom was side by side to us, and it was a mother-daughter duo, and they were there. And honestly, I just love these women. First of all, I was like, I told them, I was like, the fact that you guys have such a tight knit relationship between the two of you as a mother and a daughter is amazing, because that's rare. That is rare. And to be honest with you, I legit thought that, like, I actually thought they were friends. I didn't realize they were
Yeah,
mother and daughter until they said that. And when they said that, I was like, "What?" I was like, "Wow, I thought you guys were like best friends." And they were like, "Well, we are best friends." And I'm like, "That's awesome, because
that
that
is really
doesn't happen." Like, I wish I was blessed with that, but I was not. And I think there's a lot of people who can agree with me, is that, we legit, that's very rare. So when
Mhm.
something like that happens, like, hold on to it for dear life, because no joke, it is something that is very unique. But the crazy thing is that, so this girl, she's only 20 years old. Becca, I really hope you don't mind me talking about you. uh but she's 20
You
years
made an
old.
impact, girl.
She did, and she's 20 years old, and this girl is an MFC fighter, okay? And she's a champion as well. She's been a champion in 2019. She started fighting when she was 13 years old, you guys. 13 years old.
Can you
I
imagine? Like,
I can't even, like, I think that's so incredible. And she just talked about her journey. She talked about, like, being in the community of that, and doing that for the last 7 years of her life, because she's 20 years old. And just hearing her story, and this woman is like, she is so unbelievably smart when it comes to the health industry. Like, she knows everything. She knows all supplements. She knows what they mean. They know what they do. She does, like, she
yeah,
was like a source of knowledge for us this weekend, because of course we introduced a new product, and she knew all about the ingredients of this product. And I thought that was so cool. And I really look up to her, because, like, to be that young and to be that knowledgeable and that established in your life at such a young age, and to start learning and being an NFC fighter at the age of 13, like, that is incredible. I thought her journey was amazing. And then her mom was also just so amazing. And both of them just have a heart of gold, like,
yeah.
heart of gold. And it was such a cool, it's so cool to hear everybody's stories, and sort of like what led them to where they are, and how they got involved in this business and all that kind of stuff. And I just love that. I love hearing, people's stories, and getting to know people. And yeah, it was so cool. It was so heartwarming. Like, I didn't even want to, I hugged them goodbye like probably 5 times
I know,
over, because I literally was
right?
I was like, don't leave. I just love you guys so much. So, oh man, it was so amazing.
I know we need to do more of these events because we need to like, yeah, no, it was one of those things where it's like you don't want like you want to see them again and you want to see them sooner rather than later. Like I know there's certain things where you see, you're seeing people twice a year and it is what it is. Like you see people, it's kind of disheartening, but whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like these girls were like, and even like anybody that we met this weekend, it was like, hey, we need to see you now. Like, come to
Yeah.
our house. Like, you and I said they can come to us, we can go to them. Like,
Yeah.
we need to do these things. And we never had that conversation before, or like I've never had that conversation before with people. Like, yes, there's people that I stay in touch with and we Zoom and whatever, but I'm like, you live too far away. You're not allowed to live on the other side of the country.
I know. I know. Oh my gosh. And it was just, I think the cool thing too is that a lot of us women that were there, we've been seeing each other on Zooms, and we've, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But to actually put those faces in person and have the opportunity to sit down and actually get to know these people in person was so much more impactful than being on a Zoom, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest, you're on a Zoom with, hundreds of people, and yeah, you might see their face on there, but you don't really actually know who they are. Yeah, they're on your team, but you don't physically know them. And that's the beautiful thing about being at a leadership event like this and being at an event like this, is that it gives you the opportunity to now put these faces and actually get to know them in person. And it's funny because even our leader too, like our upline emerald leader, who is the our go-to when it comes to our team specifically, I got to meet her too, and it was so cool because I've had one-on-one conversations with her via Zoom many, many, many times, and I always enjoyed having conversation with her. But then when you meet them in person, it's like, wow, just so much more like positivity comes through it, and you're like, holy smokes, I love this person. Like, and I can't say enough good things. And we were very privileged to be in that Airbnb. I was very grateful to be in that Airbnb because it really created a bond between so many women. And just, every night going back to the unit. And guess what? We would go back to the unit, and even though we were tired and it was like 10 o'clock at night, guess what we did? We would stay up until 12:30, and we'd all be chatting on the couch or in the kitchen at the table. And that was so cool. And you don't experience that very often at conferences because a lot of the time everybody has their own hotel room.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a unique experience. And I'm really glad that we decided to stay at that Airbnb because it was so unique to have those extra moments with all these women after the fact and talking about our day and experiences and what we thought of the event and the trainings and all that kind of stuff, right? That was so cool.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And it was so cool because everybody had their own perspective. Like we were all sitting in different areas, we all saw different things, we all, met different people, we all had different stories. And so yes, we all got the same training at the end of the day, but we could talk about the same training and have like 12 different perspectives or 12 different thoughts on the same thing. That was really cool too. It was just like, I remember everybody came over to the Airbnb for a pizza party, and we literally just like sat in this big circle and just like, it was like we were in kindergarten, and we all had the big circle and we all had like the little talking stick, and it was the coolest thing because that was like, you would not have been able to do that at a hotel.
No.
Right? Like we
No,
all
you
just
would
ordered
not have.
pizza. Some of us were out by the pool. Some of us were inside on the couch. And then we're like, hey, you guys, like, we're going to come talk about the product. Like, everybody come be involved. And it was really cool.
Oh, it was seriously, yeah, it was so amazing. And even though the Airbnb was like 10 minutes away from our hotel, it really wasn't that bad because it was cool because we all got to experience like just sharing an Uber, jump in an Uber, and it like costed us each like $5 to jump in these Ubers and go back to the hotel. And then the ladies that were staying at the hotel, they were super accommodating too because it was like, okay, on the one day we were going to have this like after party, the glow party. And so we knew we were going to be away from our Airbnb all day, and we were like, okay, like if we, come in the morning, can we like, put some stuff in your hotel room just so that we don't have to go back to our Airbnb? And so everybody was so accommodating, and that made it really, really fun too. And it was truly incredible. I'm still on a high from all of it. I mean, I'm not only on a high from like the experience that we had with all of our friends and meeting these wonderful women and men and stuff like that, but also just like what we got told and how our company is changing and these new products that we're bringing out. Like literally we're here to help change people's lives, and it's so exciting. I feel like my life has changed tremendously in the last 5 months of being with this company. Like I honestly don't think I would have imagined myself being in this position that I am now. And I'm so forever grateful that I decided to say yes, because it was the best decision I've ever made, like
Yeah.
hands down.
It's so funny. We make these little decisions or big decisions, and you never know what could be impacted. Like I was on a training the other day, and it might have been one of our calls. I can't remember, but someone said, take note of today's date. Go look at what date it is today, because today is the day that your life can change.
Yeah.
Like we don't realize how like purchasing that enrollment kit or signing on or deciding how sharing the opportunity, how like the little things that you do on a daily basis can have such that ripple effect and just continue to like build that momentum. Like I can tell you, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't send that one message, or if I didn't click that enrollment button, or if the person who messaged me hadn't messaged, or like there's so many little things that build up. And there was a video that I watched somewhere, and it was like, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, well, this person talked to this person, and then this person and this person, and because I made that, this person did this and this and this and this, and it just kept going and going and going, and it was like, that's how I met Joyce, right? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like I just met Joyce. It was like I like this had happened, which then led this to happen, which then led this to happen, which then led this and this and this and this and this, and this is how it happened. Like it's so cool to like just see all of that play out.
Well, and actually the other thing I wanted to mention too, it was so funny is that so not to like sit here and talk about us, but when we were meeting all these women this past weekend, a lot of the women that we met literally felt that Tegan and I had known each other for years. They kept saying that. They were like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are like sisters. Like, how long have you guys known each other?" And we legit told them, "Well, this business is what brought us together." And they were quite blown away. And I remember specifically Rochelle saying to us like, "Oh my gosh, when you guys walk that stage and you guys share your story, it's going to be so amazing to see you guys share your story about, how you guys became such good friends and all this kind of stuff." Because it's really unique, because like, I'll be honest with you, when I started this business, my best friend lived in Eastern Canada, and she did not support my decision to join this business, and that's going to happen. Okay. And I'll be honest with you, I don't make choices based on what my friends feel. I make choices based on myself and how I feel and what I think is going to do for my life. Because let's be honest, you're the one who's going to have to deal with those decisions, not someone else. So when she told me she didn't support my choices in joining this business, I was quite shocked. And she knew that I didn't join this business for the money. I joined this business because I wanted to better my health. And I've struggled with arthritis for 12 years. And so this was what was like majorly impactful for me and why I wanted to jump in. And she knew that. But yet she still didn't support me, didn't agree with what I was doing, told me that she didn't believe in this company, didn't agree with the products, like so many things, but she didn't give me a reason. She just said she didn't agree with it. And this all kind of happened about 2 months into this business. And ironically, at the time that this was all happening, Tegan had turned around and also come into my life at like basically at the exact time of this happening. And it was so unique because literally it was like I had to basically let go of that friendship. And I had to tell this woman that was my so-called best friend, if you can't support what I'm doing, and if even like you don't have to necessarily join my team, you don't have to buy my product, but the fact that you just don't even support me and tell me what I'm doing is wrong, or tell me that like you don't agree with what I'm doing, and you're supposed to be my best friend, I can't have you in my life, because that just brings negativity to me. And I don't want to surround myself with negativity. It was a very, very hard decision for me to do that. And I think if Tegan was not in my life, it would have been even more difficult. And I don't even know if I could have done it with Tegan not being in my life. But the fact that Tegan was right there and she was like supporting me, and she was like, "You know what, girl, don't worry. Everything happens for a reason." And then it was like all of a sudden our friendship just blew up. And it's so crazy. And I feel the stars align in everybody's journeys. And, even like one of the girls that just recently joined my team this month, her and I used to work together, and she came over yesterday, and she's been on here listening to us today. And she came on, to this business, and her and I got to hang out last night. And literally, I just realized that like, I absolutely adore this woman. Like, she is amazing. She's super coachable. She has major goals, and it was so cool to just reconnect. You know what I mean? And I think that's the cool thing about this business, is a lot of the time we connect with people that maybe we didn't even think we could connect with. And that's why I talk so highly about the community behind what we have here. And it's such a blessing. And I'm grateful to have met Tegan and so many of these other women. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes a door closes, but another door opens. And that can be with friendships too, right? Like some people stay in your life for long periods of time, other people come and go. It is what it is. And we just have to embrace that. And it sucks when those kinds of things happen, but at the same time, we have to look at it in a positive aspect, that maybe those people were just not aligning with our goals. Maybe those people were just not on the same journey as us. And that's exactly what was happening with me. I had this so-called best friend who I thought I like was forever going to be friends with her. And then she legit told me, you didn't agree with my life. And I was like, okay, well, if you don't agree with what I'm doing, how are we friends here? Because I can't be friends with someone who doesn't agree with me, because guess what? They're not going to lift me up. If anything, they're just going to drag me down. So I don't want to surround myself with people like that. And it's so cool to be able to have somebody else just pop right back in there and like lift me up and tell me like, no, you made the right decision. Don't worry. You're not alone. All this kind of stuff. Right. And it's amazing how friendships are developed. And I'm so forever grateful for that. I mean, as you guys know, she was at my wedding. I mean, like I've known Tegan for 4 months, you guys, 5 months.
Has it
And
been
literally it's like
5?
4 or 5, I can't remember, but it feels like a lifetime.
Yeah. Well, and like what's so funny is like, well, not funny, but you know the saying like things happen in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And you know, it's so hard to see something in your life end, like that door close. And regardless of what it is or what you just got to believe, and like timing is a thing, like timing is a big thing. And you know, with my past, I wholeheartedly believe that things happen for a reason, and timing is a thing. And so, you know, there's a reason that I messaged Joyce to see if she wanted to share a room in Vegas. Like that's what this whole thing started with, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a reason that I was in her life when this other person decided not to be, right? Like it was just, there's so many little bits and pieces that all click together, and it's just really really cool to see it all unfold.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's so cool. And like I said, all the women there just were shocked at the fact that we had
Yeah.
only known each other since this company started, or since we started in this company. And they were blown away. They were like, "What? Like that's crazy, right?" So, and you know, we're here to celebrate each other. We're here to celebrate each other's wins all along the way, and just constantly support each other. And I'm so forever grateful for the friendships that I've developed, and in such a short period of time, and the women that I'm surrounded by. It's truly amazing. And that's what this business is about. It's, you know, yes, of course there's some additional benefits, like, you know, being able to like make extra income and change your health and stuff, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to the community and what you're surrounded by. Because we've said this before in our previous podcast, people don't join businesses, they join people,
Oh yeah.
because they're aligning with those people. And that's just it, is that if you feel connected, or if you feel aligned with someone, or I feel aligned with you, or you feel aligned with me, that's what's going to attract you to want to get involved in this. You know, obviously the business has to align too, but I think at essentially when you first get started and want to start, that is what essentially people are going to say. I had a conversation with a girlfriend of mine. I've known her for 5 years. Her husband is best friends with my husband. And legit, that's exactly what she said to me. She said, I'm interested in this business because of you. It's not because of the business, it's because of you. Because I look at you and I see that you are an amazing leader, you're a very positive person, and I want to surround myself with someone like that. And I know that you will help me, you know, succeed in this business. And that's what attracted me to it. It wasn't just about the business. And hearing that is a true definition of the network marketing world, is that literally people are joining because they connect with you. And I'm it's always so nice to hear, because you know, it's not like I need to hear those things all the time, or I'm trying to toot my own horn. But like, I will tell you, and I said this to my girl last night that just joined my team. I said to her, and I will say it to every single person who joins my team: when you join my team, I will be your number one fan. I will 100% be your number one fan. I will be there for everything. I will comment on all your posts. I will like all your posts. I will constantly be cheering on you no matter what you do. Every single win, I am your number one fan because I truly believe in that. I truly believe in being a successful leader means that you need to be like a leader to your team and show them how much you love and appreciate them and how much you are excited about their journeys and all that kind of stuff. Because I've had leaders myself that don't do that. They're not my they're not my number one fan. They don't comment or like on anything or whatever. They literally just I join their team and they kind of just go silent. And yeah, okay, you might get the odd message from them and they reach out and be like, "Oh, how are you doing? I hope things are going well." But like they legit never engage. They never are there to like cheer me on. And I think that is such an important part of being a leader is constantly being there for your team. And, I realize that our teams get big and I understand that, as you continue to grow your business, you're going to have a lot of people on your team. And maybe you're going to be like, well, I don't have time to like constantly be being everyone's number one fan. But for me, that's a priority. I want to be everybody's fan because that's going to make them feel good about joining me personally and knowing that they can succeed just as well as I have.
Well, and again, another testament to our community, right? Like
Yeah.
that is what our community is about. And doesn't matter if like I had my Black Diamond leader comment on my post yesterday. Did she need to take the time to do that? Probably not. Did she? Absolutely. But does she have probably 1,000 other people that she should be commenting on? Yes. And she's doing that. Like, that's just so cool to see, right? So, yeah, no. But I think, I don't even know if there's any more we can say. I think we've like solidified that. It's just so important to have that community. And we found it. We found our family. We found our place.
Yeah.
And there's something about finding your place. Like it's just
I agree. Well, I guess we could probably end that. And just a reminder, you guys can tune in on Spotify or your favorite podcast channel, YouTube. That's where we are. And we will be coming back at you guys every Thursday. That's our plan. I know we took a little bit of a break, but our intent is to be back to our routine of reaching out and having these chats, and we're going to change things up a little bit. Like today was more of, we felt that we wanted to do things more just very casual. I know that in the past we've always had our little banners of like what our topics are, but we really wanted to do things a little bit differently today. And I think that's kind of our intent to moving forward, is just being a little bit more raw and real. And not so, planned, I guess you could say, because I think that that's important. So you'll see some new things, and, we're even thinking about possibly having like some people on our podcast and interviewing people, because I think that that would be super, super fun. So if you are interested in being a part of our podcast, we encourage you to comment or send us a DM, and we'd love to set that up with you. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Do you remember the last part?
I do, but you can go ahead.
All right, friends. Till next time, keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep it real.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.